So it's become very clear that DeFi is not only this new phase and this new fad, the actual infrastructure upon which it's built is both economically and operationally superior. And that infrastructure improvement is the number one reason we are seeing institutions suddenly becoming or taking very seriously the move toward DeFi. Beyond this, what you see amongst small to medium enterprises and institutions is the access to a new asset class that was once beyond reach. Asset classes such as lending, borrowing, and of course, yield farming across multiple different initiatives such as staking and liquidity mining, providing exchange liquidity as well. When it comes to interacting with DeFi protocols, there's obviously a technology risk involved. The usage of smart contracts and the underlying vulnerabilities in that code that can be exploited by malicious actors. So a big component of accessing DeFi for institutions is how are they going to mitigate that risk? How are they going to find those bugs? And how are they going to audit these smart contracts before interacting? And of course, that ties in with reputation risk, because if you do interact with one of these protocols and something bad does happen, which has happened on many occasions, the reputation of that institution goes down with it. And so when you do interact with DeFi, you do need to make sure that the protocol you're interacting with is safe. And then, of course, after checking those audits and checking for the vulnerabilities, you can then safely assume that your assets are going to be managed in a secure environment and that you'll be able to reap the benefits of those investments as well in a secure environment. So a big worry when accessing DeFi and managing digital assets using custodial technology is what are the security layers involved? And so what we like to call it a three-tiered approach. So of course you have the enterprise level controls, which is the actual profile of the user. You could be a viewer, you could be transacting or an approver. And then beyond that, you have the multi-signatory component, which basically there's a requirement of 2 of 3 signatures before a transaction occurs. And then beyond that, you have the wallet level controls. And when I say wallet level controls, we talk about transaction limits and whitelisted addresses. And then, of course, all these controls that are available on the CDE application are actually customizable. So you can build and replicate whatever your internal policies are on the platform to make sure you're safely interacting with DeFi. And so too are the other personas within your business. So what separates us from our competitors is if you take a long-term vision, we know what we see today in DeFi is not what we're going to need tomorrow. The features you need today on an application, for instance, or in their internal custodial technology, most likely will be insufficient tomorrow. The technological advances are rapid, and so too needs to be your adaptation. So the beauty of CDE is the engine it's built on, the Cake Enterprise Cloud, which is constantly growing this tool set at speed, which means you as an institution will have a growing access to a larger array of tools and remain flexible and remain competitive and constantly have that edge in the market. Another recurring issue we see in DeFi and the management of digital assets is an institution having the ability to basically export the transactions. And these transactions are used to detail performance reviews and performance management reports that are officially sent to their end clients as well. And so what we have with Cake DeFi Enterprise is the ability to always see these transactions on chain. This is auditable data. And then, of course, filter it down based on the wallet level. So in the specific managed accounts, you will be able to export that data, reconcile it, and then of course interpret it according to the needs of your end clients as well, or your internal investment analyst team. We've all seen these black swan events that have covered the headlines for the last few years, and people often misconstrue these black swan events with DeFi in general, whereas the actual truth is that these very institutions were acting as the antithesis to DeFi. They were custodians of the assets of their clients. What you need to realize with Cake DeFi Enterprise is that this is a self-custodial solution. You own your keys, and only you as an institution can transact and move the assets within your account or under your custody. The beauty of Cake DeFi Enterprise as a custodial solution is that it is self-custodial. You have your keys. Your assets never leave your custody. We are simply the interpreter of the data on the application and the connector to protocols and the security controls that allow you to manage, track, and of course, access digital assets. So we've taken a very new approach to the business model of Cake DeFi Enterprise. We don't believe in the assets under custody approach. It doesn't make sense to us. The more assets you have doesn't necessarily add extra headache to what we do, nor does it add cost. What we do base it on is on the specific modules you will need. So you as an institution will have a variety of different needs, whether small, medium, large. And so based on the specific package, the number of users, specific features you need, you will have a highly customized package that will be paid on a monthly basis. And that way it's fair on your end, and it's also fair and honest on our end too. Beyond this, there are no hidden fees, no hidden costs, full stop. We've purposely built this versatility. It's an actual mission of ours to give you this adaptive power, because we know that what is relevant now will not be relevant in 10 to 20 years' time. And so you can sit comfortably knowing that the foundation that your application is built on is changing with the times, as will you. We're just getting started. The end goal for Cake DeFi Enterprise and our whole institutional arm in general is well beyond what we're launching. Our end game is to be the complete tool set that any company who is building, interacting, or managing digital assets, or anything in Web3 for that matter, needs. And to be that foundational element for institutional success in the DeFi future.